You know, I have searched my whole life since I've been a little girl for God. I can remember going to Sunday school by myself, just trying to find, what is God? And what I found out is that God is love. For me, that's what God is. And then I found out that love is me. And I'm still in this process. And I'm not only finding out that love is me, I'm finding out that love is you too. Love is each one of you. And that love is everything. And I'm still learning this process, and I'm feeling it and experiencing it. That everything that I see, every flower, every face, every podium, is God. Everything is love, and everything is connected. I absolutely love this idea that Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, he's a philosopher, he was a French priest, a paleontologist in the 1800s, and here's what he's got, 2 quotes to talk about love, and I want to talk about that today because they're so powerful. He says that love is the most powerful and still the most unknown energy in the world. He then says that the day will come when, after harnessing the ethers, the wind, the tides, gravitation, we shall harness the energies of love. And on that day, for the second time in history of the world, man will have discovered fire. I love this. What's he saying? What is he saying about this unknown energy of love and how powerful that it is? What does it all mean? See, in our lives, love is really an unknown energy until we experience it. And that's what I want to talk about today, is how we experience it. When you think about, how the world changed when fire was discovered. It lit the way, it warmed, it protected us. That's what I think that love will do when we really get what love is. And I think we're on the surface of it, all of us. We talked about last week, a little bit of transformation. We get a touch of what this love is when we look at a baby's eyes, or we pet a horse, or whatever it is that you do that makes you just get so in touch with it. We can feel it. But I think there's a way to live with love and use it and harness the power for our lives, for the world. And I think that we're each called to do that. Can you imagine what that would be like? The greatest energy in the world is in you. It is you. It's not just in you, it is you. It's in the world. And if we really knew that, imagine how our lives would change. So what is love really, And love is an energy. It's an energy field. The Matrix, what's his name, Greg Braden talks about this energy, divine matrix field that lives, where we move, and we have our being. That's this energy of love that's flowing through this room now. It's all vibration. And when we are all together and in sync, the vibration raises, and that's love. That's what love is. And it runs through each and every one of us, and every time we tune into it, our lives are different. Every time we tune into it. It's accessible to us. Love is accessible. It's alive. It's present. It's right here, right now. It's as close as our very own breath. We say it all the time in the prayers. That's what love is. Imagine if we really got that, how our lives would be, There's nothing closer to you than love, than God, than yourself, because that's who you are. And it's always working in your life. It directs you. It motivates you. It changes you. See, love is the force for good in your life. And when we know that field, that energy, we have the best possible life that we could ever have, And most people don't even know that they're living in this field of God. Most of us don't know that until we do know. And when we do know, there isn't anything that we can't do. When we are tapped into that field of love, the greatest power in the whole of the universe, it motivates us to do the things that we're to do in the world. We align with our purpose, and we do what we need to do in the world. It's what creates. It's what makes Robert play, It's what makes Robert paint. It's what makes you love. It's what makes us do these awesome things in the world. It's love that makes us sing and care for each other. It's love that gives us compassion. And that's who you are, and that's who I am. And the more we embody this vibration, remember, this is all vibration. all the way from fear to separation to love. It's all one vibration. And when we are tuned in to the power of love, we have less fear in our life. We are so tuned into the power of love that we can't lose. We live it, we love it, we have it in our being. See, I think that we are slowly waking up to harnessing this power of love. I know we are. I know my life has changed since I've been a little girl, this search, always, where's God, where's God? God's right here. God's here, moving me, talking through me. God is here in you too, moving when you go out today. God will walk with you. Love will walk with you. Love is you. I get tinkle, my whole head just kind of vibrates when I say that. It's love vibrating. It's love vibrating. That's what it is. It's vibration. You guys are all vibrating. We're vibrating at a high level. At least I'm high. Okay? There's low levels too. And I've been there. We're all over the place, And the truth is that when we are tuned in and we are aligned with that power, anything is possible. That we live in that field of possibility. So whatever we're thinking, whatever we want comes to us. Or I don't want to say that because I don't believe that. Whatever we want comes to us. But what we need comes to us, right? When we let go, If we want the power of love to act in our life, here's what we have to do. We gotta surrender to our ego and let the power move through you, This power that is greater than our little ego self that we think that we can manipulate and control and, do things with. We got to get out of our own way. When we get out of our own way, this power, this energy of love moves through us. If we just open up and ask, I swear to God it works. We got to let our hearts break open sometimes. Judy talked about that. And that's the hardest thing there is to do. We don't want to face that stuff in our life. But boy, when we face it and let our hearts break open, this power moves through us. Because that's the power of who you really are. You've gone through, so much grief in your life. I know Lisa, you've gone through grief, You just do. And it's through that grief, that God works, love works through it. So let yourself mourn, let yourself feel the pain that you feel, and let love do love's work through you. We like to think that we're in control. The truth is our intuitive heart knows we're not. We're not in control at all. We think so. But there's something bigger operating in each and every one of us. Something bigger than we can ever imagine. And for me, it's love. It's this, we live in a quantum soup. And that quantum soup is quantum will, or God's will. It's all of it together, And the truth is, how do we do it? How do we step into that field of God? The truth is that we do. We place our awareness there. What's your awareness? What is your awareness? What does that mean? Because there's basically, and this is interesting because there's God's will and there's the ego will, right? There's your will, and our job is to place our awareness on something bigger than just what we think we want in life. Our job is to step into the field of God, to place our attention. Think upon God is the way that Ernest Holmes put it. Religious science. Think upon God when stuff's going wrong in your life. You center yourself, you feel it, and there you are, centered in this power that runs through you, And our sense of separation starts to come closer together. We don't feel so separated anymore when we are resting in the field of God. That's why I'm so excited that we're doing this thing on Wednesday nights. It's like we do a lot of talking, right, in classes. We kind of go back and forth over ideas and things. But when you can sit in the silence and when you can come together in a field of awareness and let the Spirit move through you, things shift. So that's why I'm excited that we have a place now that we can gather and we can be quiet and we can just be. Because when we just be, things happen. Things move in your life when you just be. I love that. We can access that field of love. We do that by stepping back into an awareness and watching. Right? We become, you've heard the watcher, we become the observer of our lives. Instead of being in our lives and getting so caught up in the problems and everything that's going on, we step back for a moment. We breathe in and we watch. We become the watcher, which shifts the awareness. That's what getting into the field's about. It's not getting into the stuff that's going on. It's stepping back and watching it. See, that's the quantum field right there. And as we do that, our thoughts dissolve as the awareness of the field intensifies, you know? And you can touch the field. Judy mentioned it. Anybody, everybody's got the same amount of love. Nobody has any more love than anybody else. It's just that some people are more attuned to it than others. They've placed themselves, opened themselves, and let God do the work through us. You know, it's interesting because I think we've got to make the intention, you know? And that takes our mind, our cognitive mind. I got to make the intention of how I want to live my life. And I know that every morning, that's my favorite time. I love mornings. My favorite time is to get up in the morning. My favorite thing to do, and I do it every single morning, is get my hot cup of coffee with my little cup, the same cup I have. You know, I open my drapes up, and I look out my window, and I just feel blessed. Every single morning, I let that energy roll through me, and it changes me. And then I got to thinking, you know, I get to choose my day. Right? I don't get to choose what happens, believe me. I'm kind of on the tipping point, right? So, you know, I can choose to have a great day. Doesn't mean that everything great will come to me. But what it means is whatever comes, I'm going to be loving. I'm going to feel love no matter what. And that's my intention, is to feel love even through the pain of life. Because sometimes I'm going to feel pain. Sometimes life's going to suck. And some days it's not. You know, 50-50 chance if you get up. But if you make your intention that you love through it, that you open and you love through it, it'll work. You will experience love in your life. You will tip a little bit over to the other side. And that's my prayer, you know, for each and every one of us, that we harness this power that Chardin talked about, power of love in our lives, that we harness it and we use it, this power of love for the good in our lives, and not just our lives, in the lives of the world. Thank you. So we have come to the time of our love offering to let you know that Common Ground is solely supported by your beautiful